Why don't we begin by talking about how you first got interested in acting?
Oh my. Well, both my parents come from television. So I was put in front of a camera as a small child. My parents love to tell the example. My dad was working for the Dallas PBS station, and they had a telethon and they needed a kid to come in with Cookie Monster. And I got in there and saw Cookie Monster and started screaming, bawling on live television. So that was probably my first entry into being in front of the camera. But anytime they needed an extra child, I was always kind of put in front of the camera. It just was something that's been ingrained since birth, really.
Okay. And in addition to these early stage roles, you've also done quite a few short films.
I have done quite a few short films in the recent years. And my first short film was Brandon Legend of Pine Acres. Then with that same group I did Bus 1107, One More Time for the Camera, which is a horror film. They're spending a lot of money on special effects and they get to turn me into an evil creature. I also did recently a small part in a film, another horror film, Die Sister Die. They brought in from LA, Brink Stevens, who in the horror film community is quite the cult star.
When you hear the term flyover country, what does that mean to you?
Flyover country, it's that little Midwestern part of the country that the liberal sides of the country just kind of go, oh God, it's an election again. Now we have to pay attention to them. Because when you go to either coast, the perception that they have of the Midwest is corn, football, beer, and just that whole stereotype Midwestern individual.
So let's talk about your character in Flyover Country. How would you describe your character, and what was it like trying to portray this person?
My character, it was very kind of difficult for me because it's completely the opposite of who I am. You know, she's very conservative, probably somebody who's constantly watching Fox News, very conservative religious-wise, political-wise, and I tend to veer more towards the liberal end of the spectrum. So it was kind of difficult to find that character and then not to make a mockery or to mimic it to be kind of like a Saturday Night Live sketch. To really try to be that who the person really is without making them a character.
Stop right there, turn around and go home.
What are you talking about?
You're not welcome here. Not today, not ever. Please leave.
I don't understand. It's Aaron's birthday. I brought him a gift.
Keep it. I don't want you around my children anymore.
Melody, would you explain what's going on? Because you're not making any sense.
Wayne, I, and the children saw you on TV. We saw you at the protest. We saw you holding the sign that said, Proud Omaha Gay.
So?
So you're gay?
Yeah, why?
Since when? It's an abomination. It's a sin. You're gonna burn in hell forever.
Melody, would you relax? I've always been gay. I just never talked about it with family. Everyone else knows.
It's against God's word. It's worse than eating pig feces. It says so in the Bible.
Come on, it's not 1952. Would you lighten up?
I'm just glad our mother is dead and isn't here to see this. It would have killed her.
What do you want me to say?
Are you really a fag, Uncle Todd? Are you really evil? Daddy says you're a fudge packer and I like fudge too.
No, you don't. Get back inside. Goodbye, Todd. This is the last time we ever communicate. Ever.
I know you've been in a lot of independent films, and for people maybe who wonder what is it like or what is the difference between acting on stage and acting in an independent film, what would you tell them?
And even in acting in a bigger production, because I've done some commercials work in bigger cities in Miami. An independent film, when you're an actor, a lot of times you do what's required. You don't just show up and then somebody puts hair and makeup and gives you their costume and then you kind of do what you're supposed to do. You show up, a lot of times you're doing your own hair and makeup. If they need somebody to hold a boom or to hold this mark or to, run around and, get coffee for everybody, you're really involved in the entire process. You're not just there to act, you're involved in the production side, the wardrobe side, the hair and makeup side, because a lot of times you're bringing that yourself and making sure that you're prepared. So you get to see so much more than you do on the professional side. Everything that goes on behind it and learn different skills and kind of see it from different aspects and kind of get get to dabble a little bit in your hands in kind of everything. So you have when you do go to that big professional set, you kind of know, what is the audio guy doing? What is the producer doing? What is the director doing? What is the wardrobe person having to deal with? What is the makeup person having to deal with? You have a better idea of kind of what everybody's job is because you've had to kind of do it yourself on an independent film.
What do you hope people take away when they finally get the chance to see the finished film of Flyover Country? What do you hope they take away from the movie?
I hope they get a better idea of kind of how the Midwest is and kind of the struggle that especially the main character has and some of the prejudice that still do exist. And it's not across the board. I mean, there are plenty of people in the Midwest that are very open thinking, but there still are those segments that are very closed-minded, and it is harder for people who, are homosexual or are, not of the norm in society. So, but I mean, I hope they take away that it's a really great story. Because I mean, what makes a great story is it could happen anywhere in any place, and it's the environment that affects the story. So I really hope they enjoy it and they learn from it, and they think that maybe grow in their ideas if they're thinking of the Midwest.